Well, I think first and foremost we need to, say good luck to the Panthers. It's a big week in Charlotte, and a lot going on out in California, and from the top down, from Mr. Richardson down, they've been a huge part of what we've done here in starting football. They've been great to us. Coach Rivera personally has been really good to me and our staff and all they've done. So we're definitely pulling hard for those guys. Enjoyed watching them all year, and just wish them the best out in California this week. Second thing is this is another real emotional day for me personally with Coach Ratliff. This was always one of his favorite days of the year. Like he got here real early on signing day, and his wife Jenny today sent bagels over, and we really appreciate her and him and all that he did. And Jamar Winston's a guy that's on our team that he signed 3 years ago, and we finally got Jamar here on our team. And so just really thinking about Coach Ratliff today and what he meant to our program and how hard and how much he loved recruiting. I mean, it was always fun to watch him recruit because he loved it. He lived it. He breathed it. And we definitely miss him on a day like this. The other thing, Coach Sykes, left us, went to Navy, had a great opportunity to go up there. He's had an impact on this class as well with 2 or 3 of these guys in this recruiting class. So, I need to say thanks to Coach Sykes in helping us build this program and all that he did to help us out. And, he had a good opportunity to go back to Navy, so we're happy for him. Then the other thing is our staff. Our guys do a great job going out and finding guys, evaluating their character, their academics. They work extremely hard at this process. This is not an easy process to go out and find guys to bring them in, convince them to come to school, and find the right guys. And our guys do a really good job of that. As Coach Grove always used to say, you kind of approach it like an Easter egg hunt, man. You're out there trying to find one and uncover one, and our guys do a phenomenal job of that. And Joe T has done a good job helping lead us, after the passing of Phil. So Joe's done a really good job kind of organizing us, keeping us on track. But overall, we knew going in this was going to be a small class for us. We got a lot of seniors coming back on our football team, and that presents a huge challenge for you because you want to get the right guys. The evaluation process gets a little tight, and so this class isn't as big as the one next year will be or the one the previous year. And so it always gets a little tough on finding the right ones and picking those guys. I feel like we've, helped our quarterback situation. We signed a couple quarterbacks in this class with Kevin Olson and Joe Thompson. So we'll see that. Cody Keith's the guy that's coming in to walk on here as well. He's a 5th-year transfer from East Carolina. So hopefully we can create some more competition at that position is what we look to do. I thought we did a real nice job addressing our line of scrimmage with our defensive linemen that we signed in this class. There's a lot of guys in this class, big guys, rangy guys, length. So excited about that group. Got us a running back in Ben LeMay. Got us a tight end. Got an old lineman in Tice out of Lewisburg College here in North Carolina. And once again, we stayed within our footprint of North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, expanded into Florida, trying to work down in there, Virginia. We've got Jay Sean out of Virginia. So we stayed within that footprint again and felt like that we addressed some needs, get some guys in, some older guys to help us, as we move forward with our football team. Well, it's really, our conference has helped. Now we're going to be we're full-fledged, everything. We go to a bowl next year. I made the comment last year that it was nice to be like everybody else, and we truly are now. So we can compete for bowl eligibility, all those things that everybody else does. And that's helped us in recruiting, and Conference USA has helped us. And this class here is going to be on par with last year's class, just not as many guys, but it's right there with it athletically. And so it's going to be critical for us as we move forward to continue to recruit well. You spend more time in those areas. We've spent more time in Florida, spent more time in Virginia. But, we'll always be our core, North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia. And then we expand into the junior college ranks. Over the last couple of years, we've signed kids out of the Kansas JC system. So we're always looking to, expand from that standpoint, but we're always going to be real close to our footprint, and that's where we want to. That's where we want to be. Well, I think obviously Kevin Olson. We'll see what he can do. He's probably the major guy there. We'll see what Jamar can do. Coming in as an older guy. Tice the same way, coming in as an older guy, and the running back situation with Benny. LeMay. We'll see what he can do coming in. We got Khalif back for another year, but as we saw last year, you got to have more than one, and so hopefully he can come in and have an impact. And then we'll see with those other guys, those D linemen, if they're ready coming in, whether that's Johnny Ray or Austin, if he can come in, be ready to go. So just excited about that defensive front. Got to continue to add to that group, and we got to continue to, look at our O-line and add to that group as well. Yeah, no question. When you lose a guy like Coach Ratliff, everything gets interrupted. And so when we looked at it, we said, okay, let's take two guys to kind of, do what Coach Ratliff had been doing. And so that was our thought process. Let's take Joe T., who's a real well-organized guy, real detailed. He keeps me in line. He keeps all the coaches in line, keeps us on task. And I thought he was just a natural one to go ahead and help us offensively. And then Coach Sykes is a real good recruiter, so we want him to kind of handle the defense. So that's kind of the way it went immediately for me was, okay, let's take this and divide it up with two guys instead of just put it on one guy. And I thought it went really well, from as good as it could go, I thought Coach Sykes and Coach Tereshinski really did a nice job for us. And then Joe T., after Coach Sykes left, just finishing it off for us. No question. And I've said since day one that I think that all started with the Panthers. But football in this state and this region, whether that's Rock Hill or whatever, that's all, it's really elevated since I've been recruiting, the state of North Carolina since 2001. I mean, football's really taken off, and there's some teams in our state that are, whether that's Carolina or NC State or Wake, they're all working hard at getting better, no question. And what North Carolina did this year, there's good players in this state. We got to try to find a way to keep them here. It's huge. All that's huge. I mean, the national publicity that's gone on this year with the Panthers and our region and our city, and there's 35 high schools playing football in this county, so just Mecklenburg County. So we've got a good population base, and the kids are really good academically. They're ready to go to college when they come out. It's just a matter of getting in there and developing relationships and getting them to stay home, and that's what we're pushing to do every year, and we continue on that trend, and hopefully that the good news that'll come out today. I think I don't know if it's come through yet. I think Robert Washington just picked us, so we were kind of waiting on that one today. He's he's a major recruit in this city, and so that's what we talked to him about. Good players are going to want to come to UNC Charlotte and be a 49er, and that's what we're looking to do, and we need to continue that trend as we move forward. No question. You got top 25 teams in the country coming to your stadium in a school like Temple, so that's really big. Because we'd played a modified schedule for 2 years, and that was an important step for us because now we had game day. But now you have teams like Marshall coming to our stadium and Temple, and that's guys come in and there's name recognition there on who you're playing, and be no different moving forward. So, we got home and home series with Duke down the road, Maryland down the road, things like that. So. There's going to be good teams come to our stadium, and they want to come play here. We get a lot of calls. I know Chris Thompson gets a lot of calls about teams wanting to come here and play. So that's a good thing for us. But yes, playing FBS in your stadium has helped us in that process. Yeah, no question. Robert's had a lot of offers, had a lot of opportunities to go a lot of different places, and Coach Sykes did a nice job just kind of hanging around there with him. We had some good visits with him, and ultimately I think he just really wanted to stay home, and that's what we talked to him about was, at some point somebody's going to stay here and be that guy, and we tried to convince him that, hey, you might as well be that guy, and it looks like we've done that. And so, we need to him, Ben LeMay. I mean, those are two really good running backs, and I think Khalif's helping us from that standpoint. Khalif gets a lot of carries. Khalif's playing really well, and running backs know that they can come here and attain all the goals that they have for themselves, whether that's winning championships. Coach Curry, he did that for us at Wake Forest. When he won the Buckus Award, all of a sudden, guys realized I can go to Wake Forest and win a national award. And so we're in that process of, hey, look, you're a really good player. You can come to Charlotte and attain all the goals you want to attain and do the things you want to do as a player and a student and become a better man in that process.
Yeah, it's definitely a team effort on our part, from our staff, from everybody in the building, the coaches that go on the road, our GAs, just the whole staff in general. But, it really started with Coach Ratliff and his processes and the way he goes about or went about his work on a daily basis. I mean, you wake up every day and, you just hope that you got the same energy that he brought to the table every time. And a lot of times you ask yourself going through this thing, throughout the season, is this what Phil would have done? Would he have gone about this way? Would he have attacked it this way? How would he send out the challenges? How would he, try to convince guys? How would he really organize, everything that's gone on? And so, first and foremost, you can't replace Phil. I mean, picking up some of his schools in this city, there's one thing. It's like a lot of things. You can't replace Coach Ratliff. And he worked his tail off. He loved it, and he always said it doesn't matter what he woke up and he was going to be the best at it. And it didn't matter if he was bagging groceries at the local grocery store. He was going to be the best darn bagger in the grocery store or in the county. And that's the way he took recruiting. And so I think just taking that to heart every day and really diving in and trying to get to know your recruits, because that's another thing that Coach Ratliff did really well. Is it's not like he signed a person. It's not like he signed a jersey number. He really dove in and got attached to these guys. And that's really what you go through in this process. You've got to build a relationship. You've got to get them on campus, and I think that's what we've done here. It's not the largest camp or largest class by number, but we filled a lot of holes and have made our team better, in my opinion. No, without a doubt. Like I said, we filled a lot of holes, and looking at a lot of film from game film, from their highlight tapes, through accolades and honors. You're bringing in a group that has all of those, tangibles on their resumes. You're bringing in guys that have a lot of resume, on file, and so they fit that. Now, as far as what they'll be, for some of these guys, I'll tell you in 4 years. It's our part to get them in here and develop them, and get them to Coach Durnan and let them put on the mass and put on the speed and get them ready for Division I football. And I think we have at least brought guys in here that fit that mold, and it's going to be real interesting and real exciting to watch how these guys develop in our program. Well, this is an interesting day because it's one day out of the whole year. Everything kind of comes to this one day, and guys make their decisions, and I should say 95% of the guys make their decisions today. But it's something that goes on the entire year, and for most of these guys before that, you get to know these guys throughout the whole process, and you see them at camps, and you talk to them on the phone. You get to know them, through their families, and you just build that relationship. And at the end of the day, like I said, you're not just signing a jersey number. You're signing a guy that fits your program more than just football. Character standpoint, academic standpoint. They've got to go through all those matches to make sure that they're a good fit here. They're a good fit in the locker room. I think our guys downstairs are excited about the guys that we're signing, because on the official visits they get a chance to get around them and really bond with these guys. So I think the whole process in general is important and necessary to make sure that we're getting the good group that we've gotten today, here. Right. So, for us, we're going to start out and go to our high schools and ask the coaches who they recommend, and start the conversation there. Coach, who on your team is really good in the locker room, who's a leader, who's great in the weight room, what are their academics like, how are they out in the community. And then, okay, of those guys you told me about, can they also play football? And so you've got to be able to really trust your high school coaches, which we've got a great connection with, and make sure that that you're taking guys that really fit, their program, that can fit your program as well. And so they can be great football players, but they've got to be quality young men to be able to come in here. And then we'll start looking at the film and seeing, does their style of football, match what we do offensively, defensively, on special teams, and go through the process there before we really go after one individual. Oh, it's location's great. One of the things that we have, I think, here at Charlotte is when you get a guy on campus, when you're able to bring him on campus and show him the infrastructure, to show him the stadium, to show him the environment that's here, to get him around the student body, to recognize that here at Charlotte, while you're in a city, you still have a 1,000-acre campus, that you have the ability to come to class with a lot of different people and have 10,000 students, give or take, that live on campus, and 120 restaurants all around you. Location's key. And I think for us with our media exposure, and really appreciate all you guys coming out here today. But it's continuous. It's something that is going to increase, and it's something that I think when guys come on campus, they're amazed when they step on, and what they see and the people that they meet.